Listen up, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why restricting calories is making it impossible for you to lose weight as a type 2 diabetic. Now, I know over the years you've been told that eating less is the key to weight loss, that if you just cut calories, the scale will move. But what if I told you that restricting calories is actually making your body fight against you? Yep, unfortunately, restricting calories is slowing your metabolism. It's making you hungrier. It is keeping you trapped in insulin resistance. And that's why, as a diabetic, you struggle to lose weight no matter how little you eat. But stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly why cutting calories is backfiring on you and what to do instead so that you can finally lose weight without wrecking your metabolism. You know, the point is that if calorie restriction was the answer, anyone who wanted to be thin would already be thin. But that is not the case. And so we're going to discuss over the next few minutes 5 reasons why calorie restriction is making it impossible for you to lose weight as a type 2 diabetic. All right, let's get into the first reason. Essentially, cutting calories puts your body in conservation mode by slowing down your metabolism. Your body was not designed to lose weight when it thinks it's starving. So if you're accustomed to having 2,000, 2,200 calories and you make that decision to go on a diet and you drastically cut your calories to 1,200, maybe even 1,500 calories per day, your body is going to lower its metabolism so that it can conserve energy, right? Because your body doesn't know when it's going to get more food, okay? So it clings to your fat stores instead of burning them, okay? So your body is running now in low power mode. And this is like your phone. When your cell phone battery is running out, then your phone switches to low power mode, which is a slower mode, a conservation mode, okay? So you're going to burn more in this slow power or conservation mode. You're going to burn fewer calories at rest. You are going to slow down fat loss, right? Or maybe completely stop fat loss, right? And then your body will become even more resistant to burning fat over time and weight loss over time, okay? Instead, you have to stop starving your body and focus on giving yourself the good balance of fiber and protein and fat, right? Healthy fats, so that your body can see that, oh, it's safe and I can burn fat, right? I don't have to be in this conservation mode, all right? Second reason why restricting calories is making it impossible for you to lose weight is that cutting calories actually makes you hungry, sluggish, and trapped in sugar cravings. Now, you probably noticed that, you know, when you restrict calories, you just feel hungry and tired, exhausted, right? You've noticed that when you're dieting. And that's because your body really isn't getting enough fuel. So you might be thinking, well, okay, well, I have fat stores, I have energy stores or fuel stores. Why can't my body just burn my fat stores instead? And the answer to this is insulin resistance. So at the root of your type 2 diabetes problem is insulin resistance. And in that insulin resistant state, you have high levels of insulin in your body because it's trying to overcome the resistance, so your body produces more insulin. The thing about insulin is that once insulin is high in your system, that is going to block your ability to burn the fat stores as energy, right? Insulin is a fat storage hormone, which means it blocks fat burning. So because insulin is high, it's going to keep your body in that storage mode, right? And you have no ability to burn the fat. So even though you're hungry and sluggish and tired, you cannot access the fat stores, and that is exactly why you crave sugar, because you're constantly getting the signal to take in something externally so that you can have the energy to stay alive and keep going, right? You feel hungry all the time, unfortunately. You keep craving sugar and you take carbs for quick spurts of energy, okay? And throughout all this, you continue to not be able to burn fat, and so unfortunately you will gain weight instead of losing weight, right? Again, what you need to do is focus on balancing insulin first, and you can only balance insulin and ultimately bring insulin down by eating more of those foods that are not going to require insulin to be metabolized. So that's going to be fat and to an extent protein and less carbohydrates, okay? And so with doing this, you will be not feeling constantly hungry because you will have access to the energy from your food. All right, third reason why calorie restriction is going to make it difficult or impossible for you to lose weight as a diabetic is that calorie restriction really and truly is a stress signal. So again, we said that it is a dramatic cut from 2,000 or 2,200 calories to 12 to 1,500 calories. That dramatic cut where your body goes into survival mode, conservation mode, is seen as a stressful event. Whenever your body senses stress, what it does is that it produces cortisol. Your cortisol secretion increases, and cortisol is the stress hormone. And that cortisol stress hormone does two things, right? It causes, basically tells your body, okay, stress, fight, flight, let's get glucose on board, all right, because we might need it to use. But how cortisol tells your body to get glucose is that it breaks down protein. So you are already in starvation mode, right, conservation mode, but then you're going to be breaking down protein, and because you're breaking down your muscle for protein, you are going to have muscle loss. If you have muscle loss, it means that you have less tissues in your body that are going to be using energy, and that promotes gradual weight gain with time, okay? Less muscle means slower metabolism, and your body gets worse at using glucose, making your diabetes worse, and this cycle promotes weight gain with time. So what to do is that you need to eat enough protein, eat enough healthy fats, right? You preserve muscle, you maintain your metabolism, and overall, in the end, you can end up losing some weight if you focus on this, okay? Because your insulin will come down and you will get to access your fat stores. All right, the fourth reason why calorie restriction is going to make it harder for you to lose weight, or impossible, as I said, to lose weight as a diabetic type 2, is that insulin resistance worsens if the few calories you eat come from carbohydrates. So you might decide, I am going to restrict my calories, okay? But if all those calories or most of those calories are coming from carbohydrates, it means that you are only getting foods that are going to increase your insulin level, okay? Now, higher insulin levels or constant secretion of insulin, it will make that insulin resistance problem worse. And what happens is that once insulin is high, you are going to be storing fat. And if you're storing fat, it means that you cannot burn fat and you cannot lose weight, all right? So you will continue to be tired and sluggish as well, and what you need to do is instead shift your focus from counting calories to instead controlling insulin. You are restricting calories, but the calories that you have need to be calories that can be metabolized without the need for insulin. Healthy, naturally occurring fat and protein predominantly, and less of the carbohydrates, okay? Because you're having more protein and fat, you're going to eat less frequently, and so you are going to be needing less insulin in the long run. Now, the fifth and final reason why restricting calories is making it impossible for you to lose weight as a type 2 diabetic is that calorie restriction ultimately leads to yo-yo dieting, binge eating, and more weight gain over time, all right? You probably notice that you cut calories and you do lose some weight, but you notice that you gain it all back, and oftentimes you regain even more weight than you originally lost. And that's because calorie restriction is just not sustainable. We already talked about how you feel sluggish and tired when you restrict calories because your body goes into this low power mode. Nobody is going to tolerate feeling this low power level, being at this low power level indefinitely, okay? And so it is not sustainable. Your body fights back with hunger and cravings and that slower metabolism, and eventually you get to where you're like, forget this, I'm gonna eat, and then you end up overeating, right? And this spikes your insulin, and insulin is high, so you are going to store fat, okay? So the yo-yo that you store fat and then you're like, oh my goodness, like I'm gaining even more weight, and you go back again on that cycle of restricting your calories, right? You're feeling guilty, and every time you go on a diet, you're losing a little weight, but you're losing muscle, which we said you need muscle to be able to burn energy, right? But with the cycle, you keep gaining weight and gaining even more weight because you have less muscle. What you need to do is focus on your hormones. Think about the foods, the types of nutrients that will cause insulin to be high compared to those that will actually allow your insulin to go down and put you into fat burning mode. And when you fix insulin resistance, ultimately weight loss will become natural because you have your insulin levels come down, so it will be natural and effortless. So the message here is that losing weight is not about eating less, okay? It's about eating in that smart way that allows your insulin levels to come down, okay? And if you have type 2 diabetes, just know it's not eating too much. It's just that you're not burning fat properly because of these hormonal imbalances. Now, if you want to learn more, there is definitely a better way. So I invite you to click the link below and find out more now.